Ever get home after like ages out and about and that AC just hits the spot? Ah, bliss, right. But what if I said there might be more hiding in that air than just, coolness?
Definitely not the first thing on anyone's mind when it comes to like keeping things clean at home.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing this deep dive, the kind of surprising world of air conditioner cleaning. We've got some great insights today from, let me see, Plum Heating and Cooling. They're based in Melbourne, Australia.
Their website's really interesting, actually packed with info on this stuff.
Yeah, these guys really know their AC. One thing that kind of made me go, whoa, on their site was how they describe basically a whole ecosystem that can be living in a neglected aircon. Mold, bacteria.
Yeah, and there's a reason why it's not just dust bunnies we're talking about. Think about it, with those split systems especially. That indoor unit gets kind of damp, right? Dark too, inside.
Perfect breeding ground then.
Exactly. Like leaving a, I don't know, damp cloth in a corner for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Things are going to grow. And each time that AC runs, it's pulling in air from the room. So all the dust, pollen, whatever's floating around.
It's all getting trapped in there. Ugh, that's kind of unsettling.
Yeah, it's not pretty. And that's where those health impacts come in, right? Allergies going haywire, asthma being triggered, especially for anyone who's already sensitive to that stuff.
So we're talking more than just like a quick dust off every now and then, clearly.
Oh, yeah. To really clean it properly, you got to get into all those little nooks and crannies. Can't just be surface level.
Sounds like it's expert territory then.
For sure. I mean, Plum Heating and Cooling, they've got this whole 11-step process for what they call an Eco Clean. And it's intense. Like, they even take off the plastic covers, hit those with industrial strength antibacterial spray.
Okay, now I'm both grossed out and weirdly satisfied knowing they're going to that level of detail. But what makes that, like, a deep clean different from a standard AC service?
It's like, when you just give the house a quick once-over before guests come. That's your standard service makes things look decent, but
not really getting into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. Deep clean is like you're calling in the pros, they're scrubbing grout lines behind the fridge, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so two totally different levels. It's like vacuuming your carpet versus getting the whole thing steam cleaned, right?
Spot on. One's surface level, the other's like banishing allergens, those little microorganisms we were talking about, deep down where they live. They've got the tools, the solutions for all that. Like Plum Heating and Cooling, they were talking about a special solution they use to loosen everything up before they even start pressure washing.
So it's, what, hygiene, not just making it look clean.
Totally. Creating a healthier environment overall, especially for, breathing that air in day after day.
Right, because let's be real, I think a lot of us, me included, we see the price tag on that professional clean and think, maybe I could just tackle this myself.
Oh, for sure. And there are things you can do to maintain it between those bigger cleans. But to get it really effective, nothing beats the pros, honestly. The equipment, the training, plus they have those cleaning solutions, the industrial strength stuff, that actually works, but is safe for your system.
So they really mean it when they say deep clean, starting to see why it's worth thinking about.
Better air quality, sure, but also more energy efficient, and even that your AC unit will last longer. Those are long-term things, right? Adds up.
Those are definitely benefits everyone cares about. What about the energy efficiency? How does that work?
Imagine trying to breathe through a straw that's totally clogged with something.
Oh, ew, okay, I get it.
That's your poor AC trying to push air through all that dust and grime. Works harder, uses more energy. Clean system, on the other hand, it just breathes. Less strain on the system, you save money on those energy bills.
Wow, never thought of it like that. And making the unit last longer, that's huge too. Nobody wants to buy a new AC unless they absolutely have to.
It's like anything else. Bit of preventative care can save you a huge headache later on.
Yeah, like getting your car those regular tune-ups, even though it feels like an expense right now, it's better than the engine falling out later. Speaking of cost, Plum Heating and Cooling, they had those discounts if you've got multiple units, didn't they?
They do. Smart move on their part, especially for families, bigger homes, that kind of thing.
For sure. That way everyone's breathing that cleaner air. Something else they said that really stuck with me was, don't wait till you can actually smell something bad.
Oh, yeah, that's classic, right? Like waiting till the check engine light is practically flashing before taking your car in.
By then, whatever's wrong is probably way worse and way more expensive. So if you can smell that I don't know, mildew,
It's
mold.
got a good foothold already, yeah, and those spores are having a field day in your air. Being proactive is one, less grows to deal with later, and two, just healthier from the get-go.
Such a good point. This has been eye-opening, honestly. Shows you got to think about this stuff, even though it's not exactly like the most exciting topic.
Knowing this stuff, it lets you make good choices for you, your family, your home.
100%. And speaking of good choices, what are our takeaways for listeners who are like, all right, I'm convinced, what do I do now?
Number one, that professional deep clean every 2 years is ideal. And in between those, a standard service to keep things ticking over.
Like a dentist appointment, but for your house.
There you go. And don't wait for that, like, telltale smell. Why, then it's
Yeah.
probably got a family in there, not just a few spores.
Yuck, stop. Okay, changing the subject before we both get nightmares. They had a story on the Plum Heating and Cooling website. Actually, it really stuck with me. This family, they were dealing with allergies like all the time, and nothing was helping. Turned out their AC was the culprit. Got it deep cleaned, symptoms vanished.
Crazy how something you'd never think about could have that big of an impact, huh? Just, oh yeah, AC's running, whatever.
Right. This deep dive has really shown me, okay, so we've covered the ick factor, we've talked about what actually goes into a deep clean, and why the cost isn't as scary as it seems.
All those extra benefits too, cleaner air, saving money on electricity potentially, and, not having to replace the whole unit every couple of years.
Exactly. And for anyone listening who wants to know more, we'll link to Plum Heating and Cooling's site in the show notes.
They seem to really know their stuff, and they've got a good way of explaining it too.
Definitely. But before we totally wrap up, I was thinking we've talked about the stuff you can like measure, right, the benefits. But what about, I don't know, those things you can't quite put your finger on? Could a cleaner, healthier environment at home actually mean you sleep better, you're in a better mood, more productive even?
Now that is a fascinating question, isn't it? That the air we're breathing could have that kind of ripple effect.
Right. So much to think about. On that note, we'll leave you all to ponder those possibilities. Sometimes the best changes come from paying attention to the stuff we usually ignore, right? Until next time, keep exploring and keep on diving deep.